all my fight fans? So, Mike Perry did an interview, quite a few interviews as a matter of fact, last week regarding his bare knuckle fight win over Eddie Alvarez last week, last Saturday. And in that interview, he actually made a couple of fights that he would like to take place. He wanted by far what would be the biggest fight of them all in bare knuckle history, I would say, is a fight with Jorge Masvidal. Guys, what do you say to that? Him versus Jorge Masvidal is a ginormous fight. I mean, that would be pay-per-view. That would get some pay-per-view buys for sure, because we already know Jorge Masvidal. He came from the Kimbo Slice world in Miami, where they pretty much did backyard brawls. You know, we know Jorge Masvidal has his own bare knuckle promotion, and he has fought bare knuckle before. He is a bare knuckle himself legend in some sense, a street legend. You know, the first BMF champion of the world, if you want to throw that in there as well. And we already know Mike Perry. Mike Perry is by far the king of violence right now. Mike Perry is the king of bare knuckle. You can't name a bigger star in bare knuckle than Mike Perry. So, if these two were to collide, is it possible this could happen? I don't see it, because we already know Jorge Masvidal signed a pretty big contract with the UFC, and we already know how UFC is regarding allowing their fighters to do anything other than some type of submission, some type of grappling event. When it comes to boxing, when it comes to possibly bare knuckle, when it comes to any other MMA organization, that's not their forte. That's not something that they're really into doing, or not into allowing their fighters to do. So I don't see it possible, but then again, you never know. You really never know. I think with Conor and Mayweather really had opened the door, but we also see what happened with Francis Ngannou trying to fight Tyson Fury while under the organization of UFC. So again, you never know. But he also had mentioned, Mike Perry, other fighters that he was also interested in. He also mentioned the name Anthony Pettis. And Anthony Pettis did an interview and said he would not say no to it. So that would be interesting too. We already know Anthony Pettis has a name, a big name, within the MMA world. You know, he's a former lightweight champion of the world in UFC, former WEC champion. He has competed over there in PFL. So, you know, and he's actually did some boxing. Remember, we actually was able to box Roy Jones a couple months back. Of course, we already know Roy Jones way past his prime. Right in his 50s, and yeah, definitely wasn't the best. But we already know Anthony Pettis is a big star, but not known for his hands necessarily, right? He's not known for his hands. He has really good hands, don't get me wrong, but I always felt like Anthony Pettis was always more of a kickboxer, good with his kicks, good with his jiu-jitsu, really good with his jiu-jitsu. As a matter of fact, he actually was able to armbar at Benson Henderson, and also guillotine choke Gilbert Melendez to defend and win his championship of the world. So, and we already know that big old Anthony Pettis super kick that he was able to land on Benson Henderson. So yeah, Anthony Pettis, do I see him in bare knuckle? Possible. And again, Anthony Pettis agreed to it in some sense, that he would be open to talk about it and discuss it, but I don't see it necessarily being one hell of a fight. You know, it's just, I could be wrong. It could be wrong for me, in my opinion, what I'm thinking of, but still, it's a big star, a big name, and quite possibly could be a very fun fight. Also, someone that actually called out Mike Perry. Mike Perry didn't call this person out. This guy called out Mike Perry in bare knuckle, and that was your guys' favorite, Dylan Dennis. We already seen what he was able to do in boxing with gloves on to Logan Paul, and it was a whole lot of nothing. And to be able to put him in there with someone as violent and as badass as Mike Perry with no gloves would be very, very bad for Dylan Dennis. Very bad. I mean, Dylan Dennis would not last one round. He would get smoked. I understand what Dylan Dennis is trying to do. He's just trying to keep himself relevant. Dylan Dennis is trying to take on anything he can or fight anybody he can to keep himself his name out there. And he's done himself a relatively good job, but I do not see this fight happening whatsoever. You know what? And as a matter of fact, I'm just saying it won't. I can't see it happen. Well, but would I be surprised it would happen? Not necessarily. Why? Because it keeps Mike Perry busy. It's a very easy win for him and a payday for him as well. So is it possible? Yes. Do I see it happening? No. So guys, let me know in the comments on what do you think is going to be happening? What do you think is going to be next for Mike Perry? Maybe, quite possibly, Jorge Masvidal. Maybe Anthony Pettis. Or maybe, big maybe, Dylan Dennis. Let me know in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button. And I'll see you guys in the next video.